Walk and talk, man.
Walk and talk. Okay. Welcome back, brewers and beer lovers, to Flying Wombat TV, the channel all about beer, banter, and really bloody good times. So today, we are back for GABS 2023. So fill up your pints, kick back, relax, and join us for the journey as we go around and try some of Australia and New Zealand's absolute best beers on offer for this year's festival. Let's get stuck in,
man. Let's go get a beer. I'm keen.
First beers of the year. Well, not of the year, we were here last night, but first beers of this session.
What are we getting?
Very good question. Let's find out.
Talk, boys.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Who's into it? This is Inception right now.
Beautiful. All right, what's the beers on offer this year?
Okay, so what we've gone with a mixture of, speaking of the mic next time on your back. So what we're doing, we've got a couple of core range and a couple of limited releases.
Nice.
So our two core range, our biggest seller is the Royal Haze, or Hazy IPA.
Beautiful.
5.8% juicy, tropical, like a tropical fruit punch.
Nice, nice.
Next is our West Coast lager, so it's just it's a lager.
Classic, crisp,
Classic.
Yeah, you can't really
Can't go wrong.
Can't complain.
Next one is our latest limited release. It's called Talk to the Palm.
Love the name.
Yeah. Coconut, chocolate, it's a big one.
Nice.
That's a big one.
Nice, and it's a big one to start the night with 8.5%.
It's normally one that you'd want to do at the end of the night, but I feel like you'd go at the start of the night and you'd be on it all night. You're
Yeah, we need
We'll be returning.
We'll be returning.
The next one we've got is the Almighty Assam. So any of your viewers at home who probably haven't even heard of us, we used to have this beer called the Assam Boy, so a salted plum sour. We buried it 2 weeks ago at the farm. Very sad times.
Yeah.
Murdered by the very almighty Assam. You heard it here first. He murdered it, and it's just an imperial version of the Assam Boy.
Beautiful.
The next one, we've got a very interesting beer. It's a beer-wine hybrid.
Nice.
So we collaborated with the wineries on the bottom of the decal there, and we've got red and white grape juice that we've mixed into the fermentation tank, and with a wild ale. And then we've got a beer wine hybrid.
And what grapes did we use? Was it a Savvy B, a bit of a Chardonnay?
Yeah, so we used a Chardonnay, a Chenin Blanc, a Shiraz, a Tempranillo, and Cab Merlot is the last one.
That is one hell of a complex grain build.
Dude, so you need to get your
It's
lips
not even the
around.
grains yet.
Yeah, we haven't touched anything yet. But it's really nice. So you drink it, it's got that really nice, rich, like full-bodied kind of Shiraz vibe to it.
Love it.
And then it finishes at the back of the palate with a nice citrusy kind of white wine vibe. And then it's sour as well. And then moving on, we've got the Earl Slay, which was a brewer's roots beer that we did. So one of the brewers came up with it. We created it as a keg-only release. It was at Insert Beer Festival in Melbourne here. Tricky, they had a sour beer festival. And then, yes, essentially it just tastes like it's just a table sour that we created with, Earl Grey tea.
Oh, this man over here absolutely freaking loves his tea.
I
So
do
reckon
love
that's
my
going to be
tea.
your favorite
I
of the
do.
night, huh?
We got to get one of them. We got to get one of them.
Yeah, lovely boys.
Cheers.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much for coming down.
Pleasure, mate.
Andy, by the way.
McKelty, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Odin, nice to meet you. Oh, he's a cool dude. I don't even know what farm are they from?
The beer farm.
Where's the beer farm?
It's in WA, it's in Perth.
Oh,
So
that's
if you guys haven't heard of Beer Farm before, it's a kick-ass brewery over in Perth, the western side of Australia for our American viewers. Very, very, very far away from our headquarters in Sydney, but they make some really, really incredible stuff, legitimately on a farm. They got a big, big property that they brew their beers on, so it's pretty hectic. Anyway, that's
drink
enough
some
of that.
beers.
Let's get stuck into this stuff. So, do you want to start with the tea? It's nice. Ooh. I think that was the cherry sour. So I had this one last night, and this one is ridiculously similar to the raspberry sour that we made on the channel a couple months back. We'll put like a tag to that video over there, but really, really similar. Except the tang obviously leans more towards a cherry rather than a raspberry, but insanely similar profile, hoppiness, tartness, just, it's that slightly difference of a cherry finish instead of a raspberry finish. All right, the big boy, what was it, the palm, the coconut palm, something about a coconut. I'm keen.
Oh, this is pumping, man. It's getting busier now.
That's really freaking good.
Love that.
I do love anything with coconuts, and I love high ABV stouts. That is nice. That is very, very chocolatey. Not as chocolatey as the Easter Stout we made, but that one was like balls to the wall chocolate. But that is very freaking good. That is a campfire beer right there.
All of them have been hits so far. That's 3 hits out of 5. Like, that's 3 beers I buy again.
Yeah, and that was an 8.5%er. Does not drink like it at all.
Beer Farm, 3 out of 5 for now. Ooh.
Yeah, let's fly out to Beer Farm. Let's see how broke I am after tonight. Oh, this was just a lager. That's right. Yeah.
Easy.
Good lager. Yeah. Tasty, crisp, refreshing. Exactly the kind of beer that I'm going to want to have after about 3 hours of this, because the beers at GABS are insanely high in sugar, insanely high in alcohol, and they're all really whack in flavor. So after a lot of that, you kind of just need a palate cleanser with a really normal beer. And lastly, they're NEPA basically. They're hazy IPA. I've had this before. It's freaking awesome. You can't miss with it. Yeah, it's just juice in a jar. It's freaking good. It's like heaps of nectarine, tons of orange juice coming through. Just no pulp. That's basically all it is there. It's an alcoholic orange juice without the pulp.
What's the favorite so far out of these 5?
Favorite has got to be between
the cherry.
Actually, they're all great. Just for its pure uniqueness, and it's so hard to use random ingredients like tea successfully in a beer. So massive hats off. That's very, very impressive.
Earl Grey, so far the best beer at GABS.
That's the one to beat. It's on the podium.
Yeah,
let's see who can knock it off.
Best beer to beat.
On to the next one.
Oh, yeah. What's in there, mate?
Huh?
What's in there?
That is about a week's worth of whiskey for me.
You got one chance.
Good save.
A few weeks ago, the boys went to Nashville and they won silver for best English bitter.
That is awesome. And winning an English bitter in Nashville, that's pretty impressive. I don't think there's too many English bitters over in the States, right?
Yeah, no, yeehaw. We were the only Australian brewery to get a medal, so the guys were pretty chuffed with that. And then we have our ginger beer, which we call Do You Have a Ginger Beer? Because we had so many people come up.
Not bad to have a palate cleanser in between like 200 beers tonight, so good option.
Absolutely, and we serve it with fresh lime, and I take home 2 litres a week.
Nice.
Let's get some beers.
All right, can we get some pours going? Beautiful. Let's get into it. I'll go ginger beer last to freshen all the senses up. We'll start with the XBA. Wow, that's incredibly juicy. That drink's almost more like a NEPA than an XBA. That's crazy fruity and extremely low bitterness. It kind of kicks in way in the aftertaste, but everything inside the mouth, that's just straight up fruitiness, citrusiness. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, I don't mind that. I am a fan of an English beer. Bitters is not my go-to. I would tend to lean towards like an English brown ale, but that's very nice. That one would be like just classic beer at the pub when you're having beer after beer after beer. You could easily drink that all night and not get bored of it.
Yeah.
Not my favorite beer of the night so far, but pretty solid. Now, ginger ale to freshen everything up and cleanse the palate, shall we?
Let's see.
Wow, that's sweet. I'm just realizing I haven't had ginger beer, like alcoholic ginger beer. I don't know, years? 3 years?
I do love alcoholic ginger beer.
Alcoholic ginger beer is good. I forgot how good that is.
Yeah.
This would be so much better in like a really hot day at the beach or something. That would just be like, mwah. Or like at a sports game, like at the football or the the cricket or something. That would be so nice.
It's the best ginger beer so far.
It is the best ginger beer so far. Let's have a subcategory. Who's got the best ginger beer?
The best bitters?
We'll finish these up and then we'll come back to you guys after we are a little bit more tipsy than we are now.
Yeah, cheers.
So here's the awesome thing about GABS. If the ridiculous quantity of alcohol doesn't kill you, the Newtown bucking bull can might. I'll jump on that later. Would you care to talk us through the beers for the channel? Flying Wombat TV.
Oh, that's my favourite. I love Flying Wombat.
And for the Americans in the audience, this is a flavour a little bit closer to home. Mate, would love to see it. Very keen to try that cryo, but yeah, can you give us a flight of the puddles?
Right, so first thing, we have 5 holes. There are 6 beers.
Well, I've had Hazy Little Thing before, so I guess I'll give a skip on that one this time and go through the rest.
Pretty well-known beer on the front here, the Pale Ale.
Just a little bit. Got to try the classic.
It's you want to know about it? Cascade Hop Central. It's the original craft beer that started the revolution. Powder Day IPA is my favourite beer in this whole house. If you find a better IPA in this whole house, I'll give you another one.
Is this the best IPA?
Challenge accepted.
Oh, you're wrong. You're skipping hazy.
Skip the hazy little thing.
Watch out for the Sydney Brewery. This is a cranberry saison.
Oh, very nice. Getting a little bit exotic here.
A Belgian farmhouse ale with fresh cranberry and
Picking the cranberries and orange peels at the start of fermentation or more towards secondary?
it's an addition of
Nice.
the Backcountry Brown has 6 different malts, including Marisota. It's very traditional, sort of a little sweet malted
Beautiful.
brown ale. It's
Do you love a
delightful.
brown ale?
And the Cryo Fresh Hop has quite
Very
a story.
excited for this one. I've seen it's wet hopped as well.
So the story is, it's experimental hops in it as well. So it's also got Simcoe and Citra, but the hops are cryogenically frozen as soon as they are picked. So there's no degradation at all in the hops. This is then sent directly to Sierra Nevada. They make the beer from it straight away, and it's only available very short run. It's only not much around. So it's very lean and a powerful punch of hops in it. So,
And I'm assuming in this case, absolutely fresh is best for this particular beer, right?
again, you should be drinking this. This is a question. Fair enough.
All right, we'll give them all a crack. Cheers, mate. Thank you for the time. Well, we'll start off with the classic Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, one that every craft beer enthusiast at some point has tried in their life, because it is the beer that started the beer revolution. And it's as good as the first day I ever had it. It's like citrus, a little bit of pine, nice caramel base malt body. It's just so sessionable, so delicious, and it's never boring. It doesn't matter how many you drink, it's always spot on. The brown ale. Oh, that is so velvety. It doesn't have a super thick mouthfeel, but it's just layered with nuttiness and biscuitiness, and there's kind of a bit of, it's not quite caramel, it's almost leaning towards toffee and maybe a bit of a creme brulee sort of sweetness. That's what's coming through in that. That's really, really nice. Do you not remember what this one was? I think this was
a surprise.
This was his favorite IPA, right? This is one of the one that Dave said was the best. Dwayne said was the best IPA in all of the GABS.
Let's see. Does it beat the Earl Grey?
This is not an IPA. This is a Saison. That's the Saison for sure. It's nice though. Do you remember what the fruit was? It was it orange peels and cranberries. Really nice. Super refreshing.
That's good. That's not bad.
That's freaking fantastic. I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Next up,
Contender.
This was the best IPA in GABS. Yeah, that's a classic. That's like what IPAs used to be. It's not full balls to the wall West Coast. It's not like the most bitter, like blow your socks off sort of thing. But it's the kind of IPA that it just doesn't get boring, but it's always easy to drink. You can start your first beer of the night with this. Unlike having like a big double IPA West Coast sort of thing, but that's bloody good. It's very bloody good. Now, onto the one that I was super keen for.
Yeah.
This is the Cryo Hop Edition.
Pretty good. Unreal?
Pretty damn good, but I've actually got to agree. I reckon I prefer this one. I mean, that's interesting in that it is packed with flavor, like a lot of flavor, and it doesn't carry any astringency. It's pretty low on the bitterness. It's like, I need to taste it again. I need to try and pick up what the flavor profile was there. It's like citrus and kind of generic fruit salad. And then it gets kind of like limey at the end, like a fresh squeezed lime. It's nice, but yeah, I got to back Dwayne's choice. His best IPA, the very, very good beer.
Cut it out.
Scared the crap out of me. Very good beer.
Earl Grey. Does it beat Earl Grey?
Does it beat Earl Grey? As a normal beer that I wanted to order at the pub, absolutely.
Alright.
For a GABS beer, because I want something a little bit weird and a little bit unique, I think Earl Grey's still on top.
Okay.
Sorry, Sarah Nevada. I'm reaching my final form.
Dude, at the start, the quality of these videos would be good, and they'll slowly go downhill.
Yep.
Slowly downhill. It's so cool.
What do you reckon's going on over there?
You can nominate
Someone's
Sarah.
feeling lonely, I heard
Look
that
at this
much.
lovely Sarah, let's give her a round of applause.
It's a dating show, is it?
Our 3 female contestants.
Oh, it is. You should get up there, mate.
Oh shit!
Go find your new wife.
I'll go find the one at GABS.
Brewer wants a wife.
If I find the one at GABS, you know.
What a story.
What a story.
Does that mean we'll get free GABS beers for life?
Maybe. We'll get married at GABS.
Come on, make some noise! Shout!
Oh, no.
What's the best beer that you tasted so far?
The Neapolitan Porter from Marsden. It's tasting mighty fine. It's the last keg. I'll definitely be going back for another one.
All right, so we're gonna go get on it now before it runs out.
Let's go get the Marsden.
Strawberry, bit of berry, some vanilla, but the chocolate porter base is where it's at. So
Love it.
yeah.
All right, which direction is Marsden in?
It's actually just behind here.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna go check it out.
Cheers,
Cheers, man.
It's like an ice cream store.
Oh, it's a Neapolitan corner. Neapolitan. How do you say? Neapolitan.
Do you know English, man?
Neapolitan?
How much have you
Neapolitan.
Okay.
Hey guys, do you want to jump on the channel while we chat beers? Awesome. All right, well, let's get a lineup going. But from you guys, what's the best beer that you've brought to the table tonight?
I like the Prohibition Red Lager. A bit different, not too many of them around. So.
You know, yeah, I haven't had a red lager. Well, I haven't had a red lager in freaking forever. They're not that common.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's even one here. I think we might be the only one here too. So nice.
And I saw you got a Neapolitana. I can't say the word. Neapolitan Porter. I think we've got to whack that one into the mix as well.
So it definitely tastes a bit more like the strawberry through it, but it's still starting to sit a bit better in the keg, so it's starting to really come through.
Nice.
So we want to start trying all. We'll always get it done and watch the 100s.
Yeah. Let's get a lineup going. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Starting with the hazy. It's a good hazy. So it's kind of your classic. It's fruity. It's got bitterness. It's not a full NEPA, but it's definitely not fruity. There's citrus and passion fruit coming through. I'm guessing there's a lot of galaxy in this one. It's nice. Beautiful. All right. This one was the red lager. By the color, it looks like the red lager. Oh, that's nice.
Show it up to the camera. Let's see that.
It's not full blood red like the Hot D IPA we made, but it's definitely a lot darker than your average lager. So the crazy part about this is it's got that cleanness and that crisp finish that you get from a lager, but it doesn't have that that lightness to it. It's a little bit grungy and it's sweet and it's sticky, kind of like sticky dates. It's really, really good. I actually really like that. That's a front runner for me, for GABS, so far.
Ooh.
I'm noticing I'm slowly starting to slur my words a little bit more. All right, onto the porter. So this one is the Neapolitana porter, and apparently the strawberry comes through much more than any of the other flavors, but let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, it's that lingering aftertaste. Lingering aftertaste of strawberry. There's not a heap of chocolate in there though. Not a lot of chocolate. Do you want to try that one?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by the vanilla not being there because chocolate and strawberry is just so much more powerful than vanilla. It'll drown it out. But there's a touch of chocolate. The body is kind of thinner. It's not thickened up enough to carry through like a full velvety chocolate weight.
Yeah.
But the strawberry is definitely there. I reckon if this was mashed in higher temperature, or if there was just more maybe more oats or something to just build the body and make it a little bit creamier, that would carry a lot more weight through it and really bring the chocolate to the party.
I like it.
It's not bad though. It's pretty good.
Is it winning? Which one's winning? Which one's the best?
Of all these, the lager for me, the red lager, the Prohibition lager.
Nice.
That is just nice.
Beating the L?
Yeah.
Beating the L Grant?
So there are German styles of beer that are red lagers, but they're not very common. Very not common in Australia. That is very, very nice to be able to taste one of those again. It's pretty good. I want to make a lager on the channel now, throwing in a bunch of red back and a raw and stuff to really bring that red punch through. I think that might be one of our next brew days. Have you ever seen a crab try to skateboard? You have now. Or is it a lobster? I don't know what they are.
Dude, I want to go up and try. That'd be fun.
I would love to see you go up and try it. I'll hold the camera for once.
Yeah,
Up there.
no way.
Mate, welcome back to GABS again. Last year was the jelly beer, and now you've got a whole different lineup of really wacky beers brought to the table.
Yes.
What's the inspiration this time?
It was a bit of everything. So we got Lucky Charms, which was one of our staff's favourite cereal.
Yeah.
So we turned it into a beer, and then that kind of happened. Then the coffee coconuts, local coffee, and a whole heap of coconut came together to make a great beer.
Was it coconut in the mash, or was it in the fermentation state?
In the fermentation.
Did you whack it into like brew and bags or something to strain it out?
Yeah, a whole heap of grain bags, like those big, straight from keg land.
Yeah. Because working with coconut in a fermenter, especially if it's like desiccated or shredded coconut, that blogs up the tube trying to get it into the keg, and that's just a whole nother nightmare you don't want to deal with.
Oh yeah. So there's a whole heap of grain bags sitting in that tank.
Yeah.
And I've got to clean them out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow's
The brewer's life. The
Yeah.
brewer's life.
Yeah, well, 90% of it is being a janitor, right?
Yeah. Cheers, man.
And what about the dark fruit sour and the hard pub squash?
So hard pipe squash, nice and simple, just an old school lemonade that's alcoholic. Like how can you go wrong? And the dark fruit sour is it's that like black forest kind of dark grains, so chocolatey notes, and a whole heap of puree of dark berries and fruits.
Nice. I do like a dark forest cake. So, of the beers here today, which one is your favourite?
My favourite's the coffee coconut.
Yeah, that was good.
Cameraman agrees.
That was my favourite yesterday.
And have you had much of a chance to walk around and try the beers around GABS this one?
Not as much as I'd like, but tried a few. I can't say which one's my favourite. I kind of lose track, but there's some good ones out
Your palate kind of takes a beating after a little while.
Yeah, but I've had a fair few of the barrel-aged beers, and they're good.
Yeah, did you try the one over at Six Drinks?
No, I haven't been to that one yet.
Worth having a crack there. You really taste a single malt coming through on that one. But it's like a end of the night kind of beer. It's not something you start on.
Yeah, good to know. I might have to head over there. I tried the Akasha just over here. Theirs is good. We're looking forward to their barrel program that happens soon, I think. So.
Nice. Yeah, actually, we need to check out some talks tonight. But mate, what's next on the cards for Rusty Penny? What's the next big thing in the works for you guys?
I'm not actually too sure. A lot more limiteds and getting them all in cans. That's our main goal at the moment.
How is the canning line going?
It's running smooth now. It took me a couple of months to get used to it, but it's all coming together.
Because for those that haven't been there, a while back, you guys had like the who was it? It was Coastal Canning, right, or something. Yeah. They were coming in, but you guys have an in-house canning line now.
Yeah, much better now with the in-house. Yeah. We can can whenever you want, as little or as big as batches we need. Yeah. It's so much easier.
Yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream. Unlike a single manual canning machine, that's absolute garbage. This kind of stuff. But yeah, cheers, Mark, and we'll catch you later, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, Rusty Penny.
I'm trying to decide the order to start this in because despite what this looks
deceiving,
like,
very deceiving.
This tastes like a stout. This does not, despite the color difference. It's a weird one. So what we have here is a pub squash. So in Australia, you got a thing called what is it? Squash, lemonade squash or something like that. It's basically like a lemonade in a can, like kind of like a I'm blanking. I'm still blanking. Like a lift. It's kind of like a lift. Like
a Sprite, you mean?
Lift is not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the one that's got like the squashed lemonade on the can.
Oh, Solo. Yeah.
Solo.
Yeah.
Next we have, this one is the coffee coconut beer. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's coffee coconut, but it's basically a pale stout, which is kind of awesome. I've always wanted to brew one of these, never have. We should do that as well on the channel, by the way. Next we have Lucky Charms for our American viewers. So this one was brewed with a ton of Lucky Charms thrown into the mash, and then a whole bunch of like marshmallows and stuff, and then you drink it with the marshmallow, you get the flavor of a Lucky Charm stout. Lastly, we have the Black Forest Stout. So this one was made with a bunch of, Black Forest Dark Sour. So it's a dark beer, it's a sour beer, it's made with a ton of like dark red fruits like cherries and raspberries and stuff to bring out like a Black Forest cake kind of flavor into a beer. So
let's get to drinking,
I think I'll start with the sour. I think I'll start with this.
Yeah. Give me a sip.
It's nuts. Like, the color looks so dark and so deep, doesn't taste anything like it. Like you taste cherries, massive burst of cherries.
That's
it's
very sour.
Nice. Lucky Charms I did have yesterday, was a fan, will be a fan again.
Eat the marshmallow, I'll eat it. Don't put it back in there. Eat the whole marshmallow, bro.
I've got a whole cup to drink, bro. I want to sip. There you go. Have my marshmallow saliva.
No.
Next up, we've got the white stout, or the pale stout as it's sometimes called.
This was my favorite from yesterday.
Yeah, this one was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's a GABS beer. It's a GABS beer.
It's a GABS beer. It's so weird to have coffee coming through in something that looks pale. It doesn't compute. Like you get the first initial burst of coffee, which is tasting not like an espresso, but it's like a long black.
It smells espresso.
Yeah, so it's like having a long black. That's the flavor you get because it's like a diluted coffee. And then after you swallow, you get this rolling aftertaste of light coconut coming through and balancing everything out. It is very, very well balanced and very nice.
Honestly, I think that's the best specialty beer. Best specialty beer.
It is 100% up there. It is up there. And then lastly was the pub squash, which was a ginger beer, right? I think it was a ginger beer.
Solo? Oh.
Something along those lines. If it's a ginger beer, that's the winning ginger beer of the night so far. We've had 3. We've had one from
Buckley's.
One from Buckley's. We've had one from Rusty Penny, and we had one from...
No, we only had 2 so far. No, we only had 2.
Oh, we only had 2?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Rusty Penny's winning this bout so far. But of all the beers here, which one's my favorite? It's between the black sour and the white stout, which is nuts.
They're polar. They're like they should be
the other way around.
Colors should swap around.
But I'm gonna say, oh, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's also very damn good. Oh, that's a tough choice. I want to call a draw. If I had to hedge one or the other,
one of them, only one.
I'm going to go the white stout.
Nice.
The white stout is that's a fantastic drop of coffee. And by the way, they used locally made coffee from the whole Western Sydney area. So these guys are absolutely incredible in collaborating with local businesses to bring truly unique flavors to all the stuff that they produce. They don't buy wholesale stuff when they make their specialty beers. They source locally made ingredients from local community businesses, which is just a sensational effort in the world of craft beer.
You were even buying from them.
Yeah, I was buying from them. So Rusty Penny's story is an awesome one, and this might be in the extended edition of this video. But basically, these guys started out always wanting to be a craft brewery, but it's very, very expensive to start a brewery independently. So their strategy was they started a homebrew shop, of which I was a customer for a long time. They had a homebrew shop in the warehouse that they would eventually turn into their first site as a brewery. They eventually got their license, they started selling beers, they grew large enough, and then they transitioned into the new location where they are now, which is a hell of a lot bigger. In the middle of COVID, they did this. So they had an incredibly hard struggle, but it all came to fruition, and now these guys are absolutely kicking ass and taking names.
That is some solid
That's
a solid lineup.
Yeah, if you are in Sydney, absolutely go check out Rusty Penny in person, because the 2 guys that are running this place are the 2 founders and co-owners, and they are more than willing to have a long chat with you about all the stuff that you're doing, all the stuff that they're doing, and everything in between in the world of amazing craft beers. So I'm getting the wrap up now. On to the next brewery. All right, so we're off to see our friends over in Kiwiland, Garage Project. We did try these ones last night, and it was pretty freaking awesome. So they've got a whole coffee versus tea battle going on, but they've basically got bubble tea going up against like a Frappuccino stout. Frozen slushy Frappuccino stout, I might add. So very, very cool. Very keen to try what these ones taste like. Again.
Gotta love Kiwis, mate.
Gotta love Kiwis. So for viewers that haven't been to New Zealand or haven't tried Garage Project, they are a massive brewery in New Zealand, especially in the craft world. So kind of they're the Sierra Nevada equivalent of New Zealand. They are very big name over there, but they still stick so true to the craft of making incredibly unique and very, very tasty beers. And it's just mind-blowing the kind of stuff that they bring to GABS every single year. A couple of years ago, they brought like an ice cream beer, which was just nuts.
I remember the lineup for that.
Exactly.
That was a mad
exactly,
one.
and that's what we tried to replicate with our main beer, which, Spoilers, hasn't been released yet.
It's quite timely to kind of like when you couldn't travel to kind of bring a bit of overseas back to New Zealand. Then this there's the Cafe Gallant, which is I think my pick of the lot. So you can't see the Cascade anymore, but on Nitro.
So this is one of Nitro Brewery,
Yeah, so what happened is you've got some Tasmanian whiskey barrels from a distillery called Lark.
Oh, beautiful. Lark Distillery down in Tasmania, amazing single malts.
And then those barrels went to Wellington where some coffee beans, so it's almost like an inverse barrel aged stout where the beer hasn't been aged in whiskey barrels, but the coffee beans were aged in whiskey barrels and soaked up a lot of flavour, and then they went into the brew. So it's just like,
that's fantastic.
It's really like, so Cafe Gaelic, translation, Irish coffee, that's really what this tastes like.
Yeah.
Lastly, just a bit of fun for the festival. And
A bit of Gabsiness.
So you've got an Imperial coffee stout, which we've like frappuccinoed up, and there's a little bit of an espresso martini syrup in there as well to just like top things off. So that's where we are.
Absolutely love it. Thank you very much. So we have a coffee frappuccino stout turned into a slushy, which is like mind-boggling. Then we've got a nitro coffee stout something. Can't for the life of me remember what was in this one. Over here we have all New Zealand, which is basically all New Zealand ingredients, all New Zealand hops, malts, yeast, everything, with an influence from overseas, born during the middle of COVID. So this was a COVID brewed beer here. And lastly, we have a boba tea. So if you, let me try and scoop out a boba. Oh, there we go. So this one is a boba tea style beer. So it's basically a sour infused with a bunch of boba bubbles, and it's meant to be a coffee versus tea kind of battle going on. So let's do these two last, and we'll start with these two guys to begin with. So this one being the most normal
Drink it.
as far as beers go. Let's get into it. Oh, Jesus. That's just straight up a good IPA. That's just good. Good in every way. You know what? You know what we might have to do here? We might need to go back to Sierra Nevada and say that we found a better IPA, because to be honest, I think this one's taking it.
Garage Project.
It's just more. More hops.
It's just an IPA.
More
It's not
wheat, more everything. It's just more. That's
is
pretty damn good. All right, on to the nitro poured stout. Oh, I freaking love nitro stouts. They just, there's a lot of coffee coming into that. And when I say coffee, I don't mean like coffee that you get from like grains from specialty malts. I mean coffee like actual cold brew coffee. So the story behind this one was they got whiskey barrels, single malt whiskey barrels from Lark down in Tasmania in Australia. Those barrels then went over to Wellington where these guys are based, and they infused the coffee into those barrels and then use that infused coffee barrel flavor to go into the stout itself. So as Josh from Garage Project described it, it's like a reverse barrel-aged stout, like a deconstructed stout in the barrel, which is pretty nuts, and that is a extremely unique flavor in a stout.
That's solid. That's good.
It's the rumble in the jungle. It's the lightweight versus the heavyweight. It's the little T versus the big boy stout. It is something about Fast and Furious versus Need for Speed. It's the bubble tea versus the coffee stout. So this one is from Garage Project. Oh, sorry, I've already covered this. Let's just get into it for tasting, right? Honestly, gimmicks aside, that's just a very good sour. So it starts as like a normal sour, the kind of flavor you get from like a Philly yeast. And then you get like this, like legitimate tea flavor coming through. Kind of like, it's not Earl Grey. I think it's more like an English breakfast than this one. It's a little more robust, a little more bitter in that tea kind of way. And then if you pop a bubble in the mouth whilst you drink it, it's like this burst of lychee coming through in the mix of this sour, tangy sort of English breakfast sort of thing, which is amazing. Over here, it's just straight up delicious. It's so good. So it's like, I had this one yesterday, full disclosure, and I knew I had to have it again because this tastes exactly like a Frappuccino. That's it. You do not taste beer at all in any which way, shape or form. It's just straight up Frappuccino. It's that sugar hit, it's that espresso hit, it's that creaminess, that milk. It's freaking sensational. On to the next one.
Thank you.